Hello everyone, and welcome to Zest Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that takes you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion while finding your peace. Today is an absolute honor. Like every single day I get to speak to these incredible people, but I'm welcoming a woman today who is redefining the way we show up in the world, not just with style, but with soul. Christina Avraam is a holistic style coach and a visionary founder of Be Stylish, Be Seen. Her work goes far beyond the surface because Christina's true transformation begins from the inside out. She dives deep into the heart of the women she works with, helping them reconnect with who they are beautiful and who they're becoming and the life they aspire to live. That is so important. Through her bespoke and deeply intentional approach, Christina doesn't just change how you dress, she reshapes how you see yourself and empowers you to make the impact you were born for. Her mission: to ensure that every woman is seen, heard, and remembered, not just for how she looks, but for how she owns. That's a very key word there. Owns her presence. Whether it's the first impression or one lasting one, Christina is here to help you step into your power and walk into every single room with clarity, confidence, and undeniable authenticity. Yes, yes, yes. You wait until you see her. She's looking absolutely like a diamond. Let's dive into this powerful conversation. Hello, Christina.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me here. Wow. What an introduction. I need you by my side every day. When I walk into a room, I need that introduction.
No, you don't, honey. You are good on your own, but thank you so much. So let just the inquisitive side of me, just from people ask, well, actually it all stemmed once from someone asking me, why an empowerment coach? And without going into me, because it's not about me, it's about you. Why are you focusing on style? What is it? Where did this start? Because I know that these little gems, these things that we end up embodying, not saying that this is your story, but often they're not always such an empowering start. So I would love to know what your version is of how this all happened.
Do you know, I think it started when I was a really little girl, and I didn't know it was happening until much later. So my parents didn't have a lot of money. So for example, I got sent to school without the uniform, and imagine I was sticking out like a sore thumb in a red corduroy dress. And that kind of moved into my secondary school as well, when again they couldn't afford the uniform. But things then started getting a bit kind of, teachers were saying to me in the corridor, Avraam, when are you going to get your uniform? Trying to almost ridicule me, make me feel kind of this small. And that continued throughout my education, actually. And thinking back, I used to feel like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. That's so embarrassing that they're calling me out on that. But then slowly, kind of this spark lit in me. I became really angry, and I thought, no, I like this feeling of standing out. I like it. It feels good to me. I don't want to be like everyone else. And it's from these little things, that these little steps that I started taking in my journey to becoming a holistic style coach. And one bit that really stands out for me was when I was in uni, and I had an exam, and I rocked up in a pinstriped power suit. And my friends were going to me, okay, so all that studying has gone to your head. What have you got an interview after this? What's happening? And I knew that I was dressing with intention, because that suit helped me to shape my mindset. I'm going to smash this exam, which I did. And so it was then that I really understood the power of clothing.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Even in your storytelling, I've got so many shared this. Even in your storytelling, even before even if you didn't recognize that, in the response of others, it showed. Because you, like in you being, kind of dominating that room and being like, right, I'm coming with intention. Exactly. But it's so funny that everybody felt that intention. Because that's the other thing which I really love that you touched on, because for example, your fabulous outfit that you're wearing today. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. Someone else could put that on, but it doesn't mean they're going to have that power.
Yeah.
Because someone else could wear it and they could feel so self-confident. Whereas, I just had to think then whether I said the right word then. Yeah. I know what you mean. I just feel like we've got such this like energy right now, and I'm like, did I just say the right word? So yeah, I think like so for example, and this is a beautiful thing, but also I think and I'd love to know your opinion on this, and there's something else I want to ask you afterwards. I think when sometimes we are not so bold, and we then, for example, may see someone like you who, thinking, wow, I don't know what that is, I feel it, I like it, and you know what, I want to embody some more of that. I think it's really important that we're really kind to ourselves through the transition, because we are naturally, you put that on, I'm sorry, you're going to get some looks in the most beautiful way. And actually, I would really encourage that. Sit with it, go for it. So anyway, I would love to know your opinion.
We're not all the same, are we? It doesn't mean just because I'm dressed like this and I'm holistic style coach, it's going to be right for another person.
Yes.
So I would suggest to that other person that's just a bit more shy or a bit more reserved, I would say do small things every day so that it ends up becoming natural for you. So for example, if you've got something on that you feel comfortable, but it's not really kind of out there, it doesn't matter. Put your favorite accessories on, a bolder lipstick than you usually would, be a bit braver, and do that every single day, whether it's taking the dog for a walk or, I don't know, going to see a friend for coffee. It doesn't have to be in the business sense. You don't have to save yourself for a networking event, for example, or a big celebration. So then it just becomes slightly easier every time. And please step outside your comfort zone and experiment with different colors, different fabrics, because that's how you start to find your style. And also what's on your inside. Where do you see yourself in the future? Not where do you see yourself now, but in the future, and start dressing for that woman that you want to become. So it's all about dressing with intention. If your wardrobe's not working for you anymore, you need to work on that as well. I mean, there's a lot of steps to it, and that's why I call it holistic, because I work from the inside out. There is no other way for me. It's very easy for me to say, okay, I can see your body shape, that's going to suit you. You need to cinch yourself in the waist, so give yourself some shape. But what happens when I leave though? What happens, a few weeks down the line? This has to be something for life, something transformative.
Absolutely.
Something that person can wake up and think, I know exactly what I'm doing, open their wardrobes, that's what I'm wearing, I look good, I feel good, and just go out there and smash your goals. You don't need to worry about this. This is doing the talking for you before you even open your mouth. So that's a really, really powerful tool to have at our disposal, just finding your authentic style. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, there was so much in that you just said. Even just before you even open your mouth, I love it.
That's it.
I'm trying to remember that there were, if it's gone, it's gone. But no, there was something you said, and I really wanted to touch on it. Actually, just before I share something actually personal that I would love for your take on it. Could you, just for people who, and for myself as well, could you define, you already said it, but a little bit more define, because the word holistic, because I think this is really powerful for you. And this is actually something that really struck me, which is the reason why I really wanted to talk to you, because, just you expand on it.
For me, holistic means like a full rounded experience. It's like a circle like this. So I delve into who that person is, really who they are in their core. What are they about? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? How do they want to project themselves when they walk out their front door? in the mornings, how do they want other people to see them?
Yeah.
You know, we all sort of say to ourselves, I don't care what people think, and I don't care what people think, and nobody should either. But what I'm trying to say is, how do you want others to see you? Do you want them to take you seriously? Do you want them to think that you're creative? What is it? You know, so, and I give certain exercises for my clients for this purpose. You know, there's certain questionnaires. I get to know their style. Are they artistic? Are they more formal in their style? So it's kind of embodies everything. So when I finish from one of my clients, it's like a journey. I would say it's a journey from beginning to end. And that's what I call holistic. There's kind of an arch here like this, and that's what I call holistic. It's not just a couple of meetings and we're done. You know, it's much deeper than that. Even when we're doing wardrobe decluttering, there are certain exercises I help them with before that, because it can be quite an emotional experience. You know, clothes hold emotions, don't they? We could have a dress that you've had, you know, when you were 18 and know exactly when you wore it and how it made you feel and why you wore it. Why are you still hanging on to these clothes that, you know, your wardrobe needs to evolve with you? You know, don't think of it as I'm getting rid of something. Think about it more as I'm making space for the new woman that's emerging. And that will help you to declutter your wardrobe and make way for new pieces that are going to work for you, for your new vision, you know, for your vision, for your mission, for everything you're aspiring to become.
Wow, mic drop. I love that. Amazing. So it's so funny how the thing that I was going to share with you, it just naturally feeds in anyway. So I'm just gonna park that one to the side just 1 second, because there was something you said, just to give maybe a relatable example. Was, for example, and I can imagine people's minds really going to the style of this dress, but it was very simple, and I think I want to call it as an A line, when it's kind of like a rectangle.
Yeah.
And basically, my grandma gave me it, and obviously she was just my all, and I would always wear it to interviews. And it's really interesting because I would always feel I'd put my hair in a bun and I'd wear this dress, and honestly I felt amazing in it, and I felt ready for the interview. But basically I always, because I was a very different version now, and I'm not saying that I would always get the interview now, but I'm a very different version. I've done a lot of inner work, and I would always come second, like I'd receive the call, but it'd be like, oh, it was between you and someone else, and whether that was just said, but I would always hear that it was between you and someone else, but I'd always feel like my grandma with me.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yes, but there was a time where, and it was nothing to do with her, like she had passed on, and I had this dress, and I had, you know, and actually the more I kept looking at this dress, because I never received anything when, and I'm not talking about inheritance, nothing like that, but like, you know, even just I don't know, the mug you used to drink out of, like there was just something, because of COVID I was in a different country and the house had to be all done, and I didn't receive anything, so I'm holding on to this dress, my effing. And there was a moment where I was actually moving, when we talk about decluttering, and I was like, I have to let it go. And like, even now it makes me feel, it makes me feel so emotional. But because it almost was so precious to me that I knew that if I didn't do it, it would really upset me, like losing it or something. Like, because it was almost too, like I'd put too much of like a precious meaning to it. And essentially and actually each time, even though I always felt she was with me, it didn't have a positive energy to it, because even though I felt love in the arms and protected with her, but that's the whole point, is it was the safety zone. It was the nurturing grandma.
You wanted to feel more dynamic. You wanted to feel more sort of dynamic. Yes. Yeah, and it was making you feel all soft and sort of warm and
And I think that's
Comfortable,
what it
maybe.
is it was the energy of it, of like, I've got you, my darling. But it's like, Grandma, I'm good. I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm a big
And
girl now.
yeah, and I remember, and I didn't just, obviously I didn't just disregard it. There's lots of fabulous ladies at my work, and it wasn't just this dress. This was like, this was going from a 2-bed house to like a suitcase, and it was like I
Yeah,
just saw these bags and a lot of clothes I loved, and I feel like when you really give something away you love, that's
yeah,
transformation.
that
So
really is.
anyway, so I hope that gives maybe I don't know why I felt like mentioning that, but maybe someone
That's okay,
listening that might give.
yeah, because it's on topic, isn't it? But
Yeah.
well done you for giving such a sentimental piece that you'd have for years. But you understood that perhaps when you were walking into a meeting, you needed to be a bit more kind of out there, and that dress
Yes.
wasn't doing that for you. I had a client that needed help with dressing on stage, and I was saying to her, well, what makes you feel comfortable but dynamic? What makes you feel confident and empowered? She said, I like wearing sequins. She goes, because when my father passed away, I wore sequins to his funeral. I said, brilliant.
Oh,
So we're going to
yeah.
go out and we're going to get you a sequined jumpsuit, and that's what you're going to wear to your speaking gig. And that's what she did, and she smashed it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh,
So because
yeah.
we were saying that clothes hold so much power, and here are
Mm.
just two examples of just that. I mean, it's unbelievable what they can do if we use them in the correct way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that you said previously that I wanted to touch on was when you said how you want someone to, I don't quote me, I'm trying to remember your wording, but it was for someone to take you seriously, something like that you said. And it's really interesting, especially when we first connected before the call, and I said, oh my gosh, we've got the same lipstick on.
Yeah.
And basically I was someone who from a very young age loved bright colors, and I always remember looking at lipstick and being like, oh, I love it. And then I started experimenting when I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
And I remember one day, and obviously I was going for it with putting it on and kind of still not, like what we say, and not owning it, kind of being like, I like it, I'm not sure whether everyone else
Yeah.
likes it.
Yeah.
And obviously I sent out that energy. So I actually received a comment, and it was from someone we don't need to mention, but basically the first thing I would advise you to do if you want someone to take you seriously is take that off your face.
Oh, nice. I knew you'd say that. I knew you'd say that. Yeah. Yeah, I knew.
And for years, and I'm talking years, like this was, very probably, maybe even like 19, 20, 21. I think it's when I went to university, actually, I started experimenting. And you look like a Barbie. And then ironically, I just to give you the rest of the contents of that, I'd love to know your opinion, but I went to Dubai, and then it's funny how these things come back round.
Yeah.
And I saw in my eyes these strong, elegant, beautiful women that just float, by the way. And and I was like, she doesn't look like a Barbie. I wouldn't say that she isn't taken seriously. I actually feel she looks quite powerful. She looks quite in control, very confident. And it was obviously a deal with myself. I was like, okay, because new location, new people. I was like, I'm going to start wearing my lipstick. And I'm actually known for my lipstick now.
You see, it's one of your things that sets you apart, isn't it?
Yeah.
That person that said that to you, first of all, we should never listen to anybody else, especially when they're talking to us about our style, because style is so personal. It's not about trends, what's in fashion. Trends come and go, isn't it? So we should never listen to that. Secondly, that person said that to you because they didn't have the confidence to wear that lipstick themselves. So it comes from that point of view. Thirdly, it's very easy to blend in and be like everyone else, isn't it? That's the easy option. The more courageous one is to be visible and stand out. We do not get anywhere in life if we're just looking like everyone else, talking like everyone else, and moving like everyone else. We need to stand out. And I mean that in every part of our lives. You know, not just in the business world, in your personal life as well. You need to know who you are, celebrate those unique qualities that make you you. Nobody else is like you in this whole world, and kind of walk out there with pride, with your head held high. You know what you're doing. You know, you're an expert in your business. You need to be an expert in the way you style yourself, and you need to believe that. And that will come across to people that talk to you, that meet you, and you'll see how everything starts to shift positively around you. You know, it's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, and leaders lead.
And leaders lead. That's it. You know.
You know what? You know, that is the fact. Leaders lead. It's exactly. Like it's not the I am, okay, collaboration, but essentially you have that idea, you have that vision, you have that style, that look. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. As I said, it's not easy, but once you break free from that mindset of I don't care what people think of what I'm wearing, as long as I like it, that's what matters, and how it makes me feel, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. You know, the world is your oyster. It really is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm talking about finding your authentic style, because it can be quite easy to look at someone else who you think is stylish and think, oh my gosh, she's successful because she looks like that. We want to get inspiration from people, but we don't want to copy them. Because especially if you're in business and you're trying to create your own personal brand, your audience is going to start to sort of say to themselves, something's up with this lady here. She's not as real as I think she is. You know, subconsciously even. When I do my reels and whatnot, podcasts and all the rest of it, and I meet these ladies in real life at networking events, you know, I've had them come up to me and say, you're exactly the same as you are on your reels. And I'm thinking, but I don't understand why would I be anybody else? Who's got time for, like, you know, someone they're not?
I know, I hear you. Like, even when I hear these types of things, and I'm like, that must be exhausting.
Yeah, it is.
Like, is this what we were supposed to be doing? I missed the memo.
Yeah. And also, in the long run, how unhappy is that going to make you feel when you're just copying other people?
Yeah. There's even a little tiny part of me with the start of this podcast, and I'm, you know, I'm an open book. I'm honest, and even a little part of me, and don't get me wrong, they're my words and I generate it from my heart about my guest, you, but there is an element of having to, obviously, I don't want that whole having to memorize and be perfect. Of course, I'm reading it, and there is a part of me that, don't get me wrong, I am saying that from my heart, but there is a part of just at the start where I know I'm not fully in my authenticity, because, you know, it isn't. But then there's also a part where I'm like, no, I'm honoring. I'm not just going to like obviously the rest of the podcast is flowing and just going with whatever comes out naturally, which is exactly what I want from this podcast. But there is an element of, no, I want to make sure I say your certificates right. I want to make sure I honor your awards and everything you've done. But there is still, and I'm very open and honest to admit this, there is a part of me at the start that and you know, people might feel this, the start does feel slightly different to the rest of it, because this is me.
You know, that what you're talking about there is that good old imposter syndrome, which we all have, and anyone that says they don't have it is lying. They really are. I mean, even same with me at the start of this journey. You know, I say that I've been a stylist since I was a little girl, but I've been doing it professionally not that long, although I know, you know, I'm comfortable and confident in what I can deliver. Doesn't matter how long I've been doing it for. I had that, you know, I would be looking at other stylists' Instagram accounts and thinking, well, why has she got all those followers? You know, she must really know her stuff. But it's not true. How do you know that she hasn't paid for those bots to increase her numbers? And also, I'm not going to be the only stylist out there. There's thousands upon thousands of them, but I am the only one that's me.
Yes.
And the only one that talks like me. Yes. And can help clients the way I know I can help them, through authentic styling. So that's what gives me that confidence. And also throughout your journey, as you're moving forward, you're going to encounter other things, new things that you're going to learn, because you want to grow your business, don't you? And things are going to be like, oh, I have to learn that. I don't know. Again, that imposter syndrome is coming in, but it doesn't matter. You know what? I think to myself, that's a good thing. That imposter syndrome is a good thing, because it pushes us, it makes us feel uncomfortable, so we can push ourselves forward and learn from it and grow even more. If you don't have that, I think you're stagnant in what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
That's the thing. It's in that uncomfortability that you find that transformation. So thank you so much for that. And with all that beautiful speech you just said, which I know is like really from your heart, more than a stylist, by the way, real, I feel, motivational speaker. Like,
thank you so much. My gosh, Shel, thank you for saying that, because that's another road I'm going down as well. So I'm doing,
and you're already doing it, honey. There you go. Already done. Spoken to existence. There you go. So that was actually leading on to my next thing, which was, what's your vision for the future? Tick, done.
As well as helping wonderful ladies.
Yes.
I do want to help them in another way. So I want a few prongs to what I'm doing. I don't know if motivational speaker is the right heading. I'm not sure yet, but definitely.
It's a label though, come on.
It's a label.
You are just you. It's a label.
Yeah.
I know we have to have these labels so people are like, oh, I see. Okay, yes, okay.
It's okay. I just wanted to speak about it. You can tell I'm so passionate about the subject.
Yes.
I've got a lot to say on it. I've grown up with all of this. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. So why not just get me on stage and let's just talk about it.
Well, my darling, when I do my empowerment event, which I will live in person, you are 100% going to be there. 100%. So exciting times ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Shel.
No, carry on.
As well as that, because you asked what I see in my future, more writing. So I've already had an article published in Brand New magazine. I've got another one coming out in August. So more writing. Amazing. Because more writing, more speaking, and just helping, seeing that transformation with women who feel a bit lost, don't know how they're going to start this journey. And when I come along and I show them that it's not as difficult as they think, it's just amazing to see how they come out of their shell and really move forward with their business as well as with everything else.
Yeah, but that's the essence, I feel, of what you're doing. Is like someone would see, stylish, focused. It's way more than that. Way more, because you know what, when you put that lipstick on or you wear that clothing and you're like, wow, this was made for me, you show up differently. So I 100% get that. And again, there's a difference between in your house and being like, whew, and then the test will come when you step into that room, and people are, because you feel like that, people are going to look, and that's when you're like, you stand in your confidence and you say, yes, I chose to wear this today. And that's I think that I feel the actual the mindset part, that actually you're owning it and you're giving that energy. You're going to have to then learn to just embrace it and just think
you are, and enjoy it, embrace it. It's finally you, so your inside is aligning with your outside. It's all true, it's all authentic. You're being honest with yourself. What's not to enjoy? And for all those women that are going into leadership roles or speaking roles, remember, you're going to have, especially in a speaking role, you're going to have cameras there. Your photograph's going to be taken. There's going to be lots of speakers there, not just you. And afterwards, you want the audience to come up to you and ask you questions because you want to follow up on that potential business lead.
Of course.
So you need to stand out with what you're wearing. And there's a perfect opportunity at a speaking event to just go a bit overboard, you know, a bit bolder than what you usually would. And remember that people have got short attention spans. They're going to be listening to you. It could be brilliant what you're saying, but kind of they zone out, but they'll remember what you wore, and they'll come up to you afterwards because they're interested in what you were wearing, not necessarily what you were saying.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Energy is felt. It's way more than the words. Someone could say exactly the same and it doesn't land, and then someone could say it a completely different way and it's like, what did that? You know, it just wakes you up a completely different way. So thank you, my darling. I feel like you've already just given so many absolute gems and nuggets. But if there was something what I like to just say at the end, like, if there's just something that comes into your mind right now that you believe that someone watching right now would really need to hear, what would you say?
Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to those naysayers, and just get going with your style journey. Okay, there's no time like the present. Just go for it and you'll see how the world starts to shift around you like you want it to, but you have to start it. Don't be scared.
Absolutely, my darling. And just if it's okay for me just to add to that, because it just came to my mind, often the lipstick, that is often the thing that hits your heart the most and almost shatters it and makes you stop, that is a thing you need to go for more. Because I tell you now, this is going nowhere. This comes with me. This is me. So thank you.
Start feeling comfortable with feeling uncomfortable.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I know this won't be the only time we connect. This is another reason why I wanted to build this, not just for females, for everybody involved, but to build that real enriched network that I can say, do you know what? I'm not sure, but I know a lady who does. So I'm so blessed to know you. And I put all your details. And even if you contact this fabulous lady just to do the questionnaire, please connect with her. She is an absolute gem, as you can already tell from the podcast. And I wish you all the success and much, much more in all you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care, my darling.
Bye-bye.